What's going on, champs and chambettes? It's FireMonkey here, and another day, another nonsensical news topic, because we really don't got too much news to talk about. But of course, with today's video, we're going to be talking about what there is that I thought, would be an interesting discussion, which is the kinetic weapon curse. Now, I do want to mention that I'm not 100% certain if the shockwave hammer is a kinetic weapon or not. However, for the sake of this video, I'm considering it a kinetic weapon, right? Because it was only there for one season. It kind of looked like, it had some influence from most of the stuff going on that was, kinetic weapons and everything. So I'm feeling like it fits under the category of kinetic weapon, and we're gonna go with it. Whether you like it or not, that's what we're gonna go through. But what is the kinetic weapon curse, you may ask yourself? Well, it's this weird thing we've only really noticed throughout the past few seasons, where every single season we got a new kinetic themed weapon, where everything that seems to happen, right, every single time we get one of those new weapons, it ends up getting disabled for a long amount of time. And I mean, with the actual shockwave hammer, what actually happened back then was a very odd situation, because basically when they were building up, the whole entire rift gate and everything, getting that lore set up and everything, if you went over to the unfinished rift gate and you actually hit it with the shockwave hammer, you would crash the entire server, because there was an object that would try to move, but at the same time was unmovable. And for some reason, that whole entire, logic system going on there, and I'm trying to make it as understandable as possible. I could be butchering a lot of the explanation though here. That whole entire system they had going there, and the whole entire thing they tried getting to work, did not work at all, and instead just caused a whole entire server to crash. And keep in mind, the shockwave hammer was in basically every mode, so you were able to crash tournaments, you were able to crash, arena mode, you were able to crash anything just by hitting around with the shockwave hammer and just being like, hee hee, bonk, and then, just there goes the whole entire game, right? But of course, the shockwave hammer ended up getting disabled, and I think it got re-enabled later down the line because of this glitch, but that was the first sequence in the multiple glitch sequence of this whole entire curse. Next up, we have to go to the season where we got the Kinetic Blade, a wonderful weapon that I honestly really enjoyed, right? It was a lot of fun just kind of dashing around. It added a lot of mobility to the game, and overall, it was just one of those weapons where it was like, okay, I could see myself picking this up every single time I find one, even though the whole entire, way to find it and everything was very kind of a rare item, because you would have to go to, the Kenjutsu crossing area and everywhere else. It was basically limited to the bottom right of the map unless you found it in the chest and everything. So it was something that, if you wanted to get one guaranteed every game, you would go over there, but you were still able to find it everywhere else. Everything was fine with this weapon. It stayed in the game basically the entire season, no problems at all, right? However, as the season went on and as more and more stuff happened, we started to see some weird little glitches happening here and there. And one of the major glitches that caused this weapon to actually get disabled permanently was a glitch where you were able to disconnect from your Wi-Fi, go over to where enemies were, slice them with the blade, reconnect your Wi-Fi, and then it would just eliminate all the enemies over where you disconnected your Wi-Fi at. And it's like, how is that even possible, right? Why is it that you're able to disconnect your Wi-Fi and basically exploit this whole entire system because of just some weird way that the whole entire system works, right? It was just a very odd thing that got exposed on Twitter and everything else, but when it got exposed, the weapon wasn't disabled instantly. It was only disabled in tournaments at first, and then as time went on, it eventually got disabled in every mode, and it was disabled for the remainder of the season. And of course, since that weapon was kind of like the shockwave hammer, where it was a that season only situation, it has not returned to the base loot pool, even though it totally could. I mean, we still have Mega City and all that stuff over there, so it's like it was one of those weapons that technically can return at any time, but has this very weird Wi-Fi unplugging glitch, right? I don't really know if there's a better way to say it other than Wi-Fi unplugging glitch or exploit or whatever else, and I guess that's really the only way we can describe this, really, right? Is just, hey, if you wanted to get some easy limbs, you would just unplug your Wi-Fi, and then it was easy peasy for you. But that was the second part of the curse. Now, for the third part, we have to go to the current season we're playing, where we got the Kinetic Boomerang. The Kinetic Boomerang is a weapon that should spawn in locations like right here, but as you can see, based on the pedestal having literally nothing in it, there is no Kinetic Boomerang. I mean, the Kinetic Boomerang is literally even advertised on the promo art whenever you're launching the game for the first time every single day, right? Whenever you're launching this game, you literally see one of the characters riding a raptor while holding a kinetic blade, and despite all of this, it's not enabled in the game right now, the Kinetic Blade. That situation is a lot more weird to me, because we never got an explanation of it being bugged or anything like that. I never even saw any tweets of people saying it was bugged. Has it been bugged? I have no clue, but for some reason they randomly vaulted it one night, and this was the same night where we made the whole entire video talking about the new shotgun, and they enabled the new shotgun, right? So they basically were like, no more kinetic blade for you, no more kinetic boomerang, no more of that type of stuff. Instead, what you're going to get is this shotgun here, and that's all that you're going to have, right? You're just going to have a brand new shotgun in the game, but we're taking the boomerang that we're advertising as a focal point for the season, and we're just kind of vaulting it right after kind of buffing it right before, right? Now, I'm curious if after, you know, the summer event and everything, if they'll end up bringing the kinetic boomerang back to the game, but it was still very odd to see them just be out of nowhere, you know, like, hey, here's a new shotgun, but we're going to take this weapon that, you know, we advertised to you guys a lot more, and just going to bring it into the vault, don't mind me, yoinky, you know, just stuff like that. And it's very just odd to see because it adds onto the curse, right? Except this time it's not because of a bug or an exploit or anything like that. It's just because some Epic Games employee, or maybe Epic Games as a whole, was just like, meh, you know what, wouldn't it be funny if we just did this? What if I just, you know, just, this is mine now. Because, like, that is basically what it feels like, right? Because I still have not seen a proper explanation for why this thing got disabled. But, of course, maybe it'll get enabled, like, you know, later down the line. We have no clue as of right now. Epic Games has kind of been very weird this season. I mean, there's been a lot of, honestly, very interesting bugs going on. From whole entire, like, items being in the item shop twice in the same shop for 2 days in a row, to other things as well, such as, you know, just whatever's going on with the loot pool and everything else in the game. It's always in this very weird, suspicious territory where we really don't know how to describe it too well. But I would love to know your interesting, like, ideas and everything regarding not only why the kinetic boomerang got disabled, but the whole entire situation of the kinetic curse that seems to be happening with Fortnite. Do you think we're going to get a brand new kinetic weapon next season that's going to end up getting disabled as well? And who knows how long it is until the kinetic rocks that are literally on the ground in the game right now end up getting disabled due to an issue? Because, I mean, you know, it would just match the curse at this point. It's like, you might as well just go with the trend, right? You might as well just be like, we disabled this item because of some kinetic weirdness, so why don't we just disable every item because of some kinetic weirdness? It'd be interesting if they had to, you know, make up some, like, fake lore about it, you know, make it into the storyline somehow. Oh, the Sloan had caused the kinetic weapons to malfunction, or the Rift Gate or something like that, right? It's like, they could technically play it off with lore or whatever, but at the same time, it's just interesting to see how it's become a trend for this whole entire, you know, like, kinetic removal of stuff. And if you're wondering about my wraps and everything, I don't know why, but I decided just to put all my weapons on random wrap and just see what happens whenever I play a match, and it's not that bad of a thing. It gives a lot more variety whenever I'm playing, so that's something that, you know, I have been doing for a little bit of time now, and it's caused for some interesting little, you know, flip-flops of variety in my, just, I guess, like, my aesthetic that goes on with my character. I don't really know what you would call it, but with that said, hope you champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. If you did, consider subscribing to the content I create. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. Peace out.